Tory Lanez was once seen as one of the rising stars of modern hip-hop. Known for his melodic flows, radio hits, and collaborations with some of the biggest names in music, his career was on a sharp upward climb. But in 2020, everything changed, and the fallout has followed him ever since. On July 12, 2020, Tory Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, was involved in an incident that would dominate headlines for years. After leaving a party at Kylie Jenner's house in Los Angeles, an altercation broke out in an SUV between Tory, rapper Megan Thee Stallion, and a few others. What happened next shocked the world. According to Megan, Tory shot her in the feet as she was walking away from the vehicle. She initially told police she had stepped on glass, allegedly out of fear of escalating the situation. But days later, she publicly named Tory as the shooter. The hip-hop community quickly split. Some believed her. Others sided with Tory. What followed was a storm of diss tracks, Instagram lives, court appearances, and public tension. Tory denied the allegations. He released music addressing the situation, claiming he was innocent and that the full story hadn't come out. But the legal system moved forward. In October 2020, Tory was officially charged with assault with a semi-automatic firearm, carrying a loaded firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. If convicted, he faced more than 20 years in prison. The trial was delayed multiple times, but finally began in December 2022. Over the course of the proceedings, witnesses testified, text messages were read aloud, and evidence was reviewed in detail. Megan herself took the stand, describing the emotional toll the shooting had taken on her. Not just physically, but mentally and professionally. The trial lasted just under 2 weeks. On December 23, 2022, Tory Lanez was found guilty on all 3 charges. The verdict was a turning point. Some fans were stunned. Others felt it brought justice. Tory was immediately taken into custody, and in August 2023, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. During sentencing, Tory pleaded for leniency, expressing regret for the incident but continuing to maintain his innocence. His legal team argued for probation and rehabilitation, but prosecutors pushed for a strong sentence, citing not only the shooting itself but Tory's public attempts to discredit Megan and influence public opinion. The judge ultimately agreed with the prosecution. Tory Lanez is now serving his sentence at a California state prison. With time served and the possibility of parole, he could be released before completing the full 10 years. But even the earliest release date isn't expected before 2031. His fall from grace has been one of the most dramatic in recent music history. Once topping charts with hits like Say It, Love, and The Take, Tory now finds himself behind bars, far removed from the stage lights and festival crowds he once thrived in. The case has also become a landmark moment in how the music industry handles accusations of violence, particularly against women. Megan Thee Stallion faced intense scrutiny and harassment for speaking out. Her courage in going public with her story became a rallying point for discussions about misogyny in hip-hop, celebrity accountability, and how female artists are treated in the industry. Tory Lanez still has supporters, and his legal team has filed appeals in hopes of overturning the conviction. But as of now, he remains incarcerated, with a long sentence ahead of him and a legacy forever altered by one night in 2020. Only time will tell if there's a second chapter to this story, one of redemption, reflection, or continued denial. But the facts are clear. One of hip-hop's most controversial moments ended with a guilty verdict, and a once celebrated artist now faces years behind bars.